Hey there, this is Dave from the Authors Reserve. It's October 22nd, 2025, and that means in 2 more days, October 24th, which is Friday, that is Pelikan Hubs Day. And if you're not familiar with that, that's an international gathering of fountain pen enthusiasts, especially those who are Pelikan collectors, but not exclusively. They will have regional gatherings, and you can go to pelikan-hubs.com. I'll put a link in the description to find out more information. It's just a gathering of pen enthusiasts. It's usually, well, it used to be organized by Pelikan, but now it's mostly the fans that are running it. However, Pelikan does provide some swag and make announcements on the day. Normally, they give out some samples of the ink of the year. I understand that's only going to be at the larger regional meetings this year, but I am not entirely sure. So look out for some meetings in your area. One of those announcements that Pelikan might be making is the M80x, and it's a pen that I am really looking forward to. If you're not familiar with the numbers, then let me explain how this works. The first digit, or sometimes 2 digits, is the size and line of the pen. So you have the Pelikan M200 series, the 400s, the 600s, the 800s, and the 1000s. There have also been some 500s and 700s, but those were mostly vintage pens. The middle number is usually a 0 or a 1, which denotes the solid resin as a 0, or 1 being the kind with stripes that go up and down the body of the pen. The last digit is reserved for the color of the trim, and that is usually a 0 for gold or a 5 for silver. But this one has a 9 in it, and 9 indicates that it is a black plating on the metal trim. So this pen is completely black on black, and in fact the body is a matte black, but the cap is a shiny piano black. The trim is not a pure black, it's more of a very, very dark gray, and it's just enough of an accent that it doesn't get lost in the pen. So you can see where the bands of the pen are and the engraving where it's darker. So you see the name Pelikan, and the actual Pelikan on the finial is a little bit darker. Now the 800 series typically comes with a ink window, and this one is no different, except for the ink window has a dark gray smoke color to it, and it just blends into the body of the pen really well. The pen's not released yet, but expect it out within the end of the month or the beginning of November. Next month also has some important dates. First of all, November 1 marks the start of Novel November, the successor to NaNoWriMo, which is National Novel Writing Month. That was shuttered due to a variety of reasons, and I'll leave it up to you, dear reader, to Google it for the reasons on that. But TLDR, a lack of strong leadership and guardrails led to some behaviors and decisions that neither the participants nor the sponsors were really happy with. It wound up getting canned, but Novel November is a whole different ball of wax. We've got a fresh batch of new leaders and sponsors, and the goal is for anyone who's considered writing a book to do just that. And if you've already written a book, this is just more impetus to start another one. It's a 30-day challenge to write 50,000 words. That's around 1,600 to 1,700 words per day on average. And that's enough to get a complete rough draft of your typical fiction book. Now, it won't be polished, obviously. If you could just do Hemingway mode, just write straight through with no edits, and then you've just got all these words on paper, that's when you go back and you start editing and being more critical. The idea is to focus on the creativity and the producing the rough draft, the initial rough draft. It is sponsored by a number of different places, but one of the big ones is Pro Writing Aid, which is an online writer's aid tool. Now I use a fountain pen, so I don't use that tool that often, but I will be using it for a nonfiction book that I am working on where I'll do the first editing drafts myself before sending them off to a content editor. They are sponsoring this, and if you go to their website, prowritingaid.com, you can sign up for Novel November there, and you can get a lot of support from other participants in the event, as well as get yourself involved with some of the seminars, which are being led by some best-selling authors. I think there's like 140 different seminars you can hop into and watch. And it's just a really great value considering it's completely free. There are some things that you could pay for. Obviously, they want you to sign up for their subscription service, but you don't have to pay anything if you don't want to. Just stick with all the free level stuff. Also in November, on November 7th, that's a Friday, we have the International Fountain Pen Day. This day holds a special spot in my heart because I had last year just started the YouTube channel, Authors Reserve, and I think I only had like 400 subscribers at the time. I gave away 3 Gravitas pockets. One of them was from me, one of them was from Emmy, and then later on I wound up giving away another one because the original winner didn't get back to me in time. I wound up giving it away to someone else, and then that original winner got back to me a few weeks after I'd already sent off the first one, and I felt bad, so I wound up giving the last one away. It was so nice of Emmy at Pen Venture to take a chance on me when I only had 400 subscribers. Many stores will be holding promotions, so look for those. There'll be discounts. I will also, of course, have my coupon codes down in the description for anything that comes up before then and after them. That might help you out, giving you a 10% discount. There will be in-person and virtual meetups across the globe, so look for those. And follow along on social media if that's all you want to do. You can look for the hashtags Fountain Pen Day, all one word, or Fountain Pen Day 2025 if people get really long-winded. You can also find it I found last year under FPD and FPD 2025. Last year was, of course, 2024. So that again is November 7th, which is Friday. Okay, so we're winding down the year, and with the exception of most of the pen shows for 2025 have been wrapped up, put to bed, and stationers have already announced their new products for the holiday season, and those are starting to hit the shelves now. So you might start seeing, if you're subscribed to any of the store mailing lists, you'll see things popping up, which will be kind of fun to track. We've talked about the Pelikan 809 already. It's been a big year for Pelikan in terms of new releases and colorways. It's also been a big year for Leonardo Officina Italiana. They have released more pens and colorways than I can count. And just hitting stores now are some of the tortoiseshell, of course, versions of the Momento Zero Grande 2. I'm going to try to nab one of those if I can wrangle it, along with an updated Fiore model and restocks of the Momento Magico line that have been sold out earlier in the year. So look for those on the shelves as well. I just want to say none of this is sponsored. This is just heads up for people who like the same sort of pens that I do. Not to be outdone with either Pelikan or Leonardo, Benu is releasing their new upscale hot line with more reserved styling and a new faceted take on a classical design. Benu might just tap into a whole new market that they didn't even know was out there, because the ones that they have out there now are really flashy. They say, hey, I'm a pen. By the way, I should have a hot to review here shortly, and I hope that I can get a review posted on YouTube and the Patreon by the end of next week. I'm really looking forward to that because Benu has a rabid fan base, and I think this might just create another rabid fan base. I also hope to have a prototype of the Pendragon's first special edition pen by the end of next week. No guarantees on that. I haven't really gotten an update on that. But that's what I'm hoping is happening based on some time estimates that were given to me last month. If that does happen, I will host a live online launch party where we will reveal the pen to everyone, including myself. I won't look at it until I get online with everybody and take a look at the pen for the first time. It'll be only available on Patreon when it comes out, and it's a very limited number. It's free to join the Patreon and always will be, but I will introduce some paid tiers at the point where we release this pen. And those paid tiers will have some different types of perks, like the ability to customize your purchase. Wasted Paper and I are considering co-hosting a podcast where we interview guests and pen fans such as yourself. We'll be making some product announcements and other fun stuff. So if you're interested in something like that, please let either one of us know through the normal channels, and I'll have his information in the description down below as well if you want to contact him. Besides the Bennu reveal and the Pendragon's pen, I also have on tap some videos spotlighting the new number 8 size nib that Mahjong made and everybody is talking about. I'll also be comparing some of the pens that have that nib. It looks a little bit different on the Mahjong branded pens than it does on the Asvine branded pens, but it's the same nib. The feed changes. The Mahjongs have an ebonite feed while the Asvines have a plastic feed. I've been using it quite often over the last month. There are 4 pens that I know that it comes in, all of them in different colorways. So we'll go through 3 of those, really liking them. In fact, I wrote the notes for this podcast using the Asvine model, so stay tuned for that. I'll also be doing a video on the Radius 1934. That's an Italian brand of pens. The original name back before 1934 was the King, and it was one of the biggest pen makers in the world at the time. It was restarted a couple of years ago by the Matron family, which you might already know are the family behind Leonardo. And they're made in the same factory in the same town with the same materials and the same craftsmen working on them on the same equipment. So really the only difference is design and marketing. I think what the tack I'm going to take on that is to compare and contrast it to a Leonardo, because not only is it the same quality as a Leonardo, in my opinion, it might actually exceed Leonardo in some ways, one of those ways being a lower price point. So stay tuned for that. I'll be doing a think piece on austere pen collection and whether or not we really need to have expensive pens, and then also look at kind of where pens lie in sort of that spectrum of prices. Seems to me that there's this huge gap over $100 until you get to about $200. Then there's a bunch more pens, but under like 75, there seems to be, or 85 now, there seems to be a dearth of pens, and then again at 200, but this wide gap in the middle. And I will probably also at that point touch on gold prices and why gold nibs have gone up, but also just pointing out that this morning's news showed that there might be a bursting bubble when it comes to gold. It dropped 10% today. People are saying that there's no logical explanation for the reason that it has grown so high, except for that silver has also developed a bubble. Prices of gold might come back down, but even if they did, does it make sense to get one when there are so many great steel nibs out there? And then finally, I've got one big story coming up, one big video related to EDC, or everyday carry. I've spent so much time preparing for this one, doing my research, doing testing, and it's to test what is the best EDC ink. I think the results might surprise you. They surprised me. I also will point out that with the right EDC fountain pen ink, a fountain pen can actually outperform a ballpoint. And I'm going to demonstrate that in this video, so stay tuned for that. All right, that's it for the pen news for this month. I don't know what the cadence is. It might be for this week or it might be just for today. I'd like to know if you think I should cover certain topics that I haven't covered, or if I've missed something in the news, let me know, and I will endeavor to get more information. Thanks for listening.